Welcome everyone. We are back with another episode on the Fanspire, and we are specifically going to be talking about the Fantasy Premier League or the FPL, which we all love to be participate. Even though there are times when we would leave our work and just try to figure out a way to put in some player who, at the end of the day, will make sure that we don't get even that 1 point from him. But still, we all stick to our guts. And obviously, as you can see on your screen, we have Arjun, who is a United fan. And the best part of it, on top of the Fanspire League, now, and that are like right now, first 8 games. I think you have been on top since the first. I mean,
Yeah,
brilliant. So, I just hope you stick to that. So then we have Elroy, another United fan. You have seen him on a show previously, along with the FPL episode he's doing for the first time. So we want to welcome Elroy as well. And
Yeah, thank
obviously, we
you.
have Eli, again, another United fan, if I may say. Like, there's a majority of them. And Eli is also in the of our fantasy league, and less gap between the top and the sixth position right now, like approx 10-15 points thing in FPL. It's as close as the Premier League title race can get. So welcome everyone. So let's just quickly give your thoughts on the whole situation as well, planned before game week one, and how you're actually changing your stuff if you are. Arjun, you can go first.
right. So my first ideology behind my game week one team was that I want a team that lasts me till the first 8 game weeks. Like I wanted to put in players who were trusted, who I knew will, matlab, I don't have to make any more changes after that. I wanted to save up all my chips. I wanted to save up my free transfers. I didn't want to make any substitutions, and I basically wanted to make a team that can compensate for each other. So consider a player not performing well, at least I have others who I know will definitely perform. So if you see my backline, till I think which I changed last game week because of the partial blank, was a template. Like I wanted those like I could see finish this season with those 4 guys. I still can, and I really trusted those guys, so I wanted them to be on my team for sure. Then I think I had to gamble a little with Arsenal this time. I don't know, for some reason I was really confident in them after their initial few signings. And I think after Arteta, I saw his preseason games and it just clicked. I thought this team can actually perform. So I went with a three Arsenal team this time. I've got two in midfield and then I've got Gabriel Jesus. So
But do you
I
think
really
Jesus,
trusted. Yeah,
but do you think other than the hat trick, Jesus overall has been quiet in terms of FPL? Like
right.
his returns, do you think he has still been quiet, or he's like yet to explode and everything?
To be very honest, I feel no. If you see the fixtures that have come in, he they've got one of the best fixtures yet. To be honest, so if you tell me Arsenal is gonna win the Premier League, I'll probably say no, because the teams that they've played till now are not. I mean, the big team that they played was Manchester United, and they lost to them. So again, to be very honest, I don't think. I mean, if you ask me, now is a great time. I feel asked that I get rid of the Arsenal players, and here is where my strategy starts now. It's a great time that we have this live session in, because after the international break is when I actually start making my changes, start using my chips. But yeah, the ideology, like you asked, was to have a template that I can last for the first 8 game weeks. Now 9 because of the partial blank, but that was my only strategy. So I think we can talk about that later when we come to my team.
Yep. Elra, your thoughts?
Uh, in my team, I think I spoiled my team in the second game week as it says because I used the wild card and I took Nunes and then he got the red card. And then after that, I was just trying to rebuild the entire team after that. But at least this last game week, it worked out well because I had taken Son and and he had got this 19 points and all. When he was on the bench, I'm like, he was on the bench. I thought again it's another game week which is going to go okay because I didn't take Mitrovic, so I knew many people's whoever taken Mitrovic, they are paid like. So I was like in my mind, one play at least I might. I hopefully Son comes because I knew Leicester was weak in at defense, and plus the pace of Son, he can take them out. And one, two, which like Kane passed the ball and a through ball and all. So I expected him to at least score a goal, but I didn't expect him to score three goals. So
No,
although others because I thought also captaining him, but then I was just too scared of Haaland. Haaland will score, I felt like two, three goals minimum, but he scored one still. He may had another one, two more chances, but yeah,
this is where I actually fell back. I mean, I think I fell back only in game week 6 and 7, like though because I didn't have Haaland from the start. But the first 4 to 5 game weeks where Haaland was scoring a goal, De Bruyne was delivering for him as well, like assist or goal. So it was just getting nullified. Like I didn't fear have not having Haaland, but there was one game week where I think Haaland's like hat trick, obviously the hat trick which came in, and again a hat trick after that. Like the points which he got double digits for the 2 3 consecutive game weeks really hampered my rankings, and I think since game week 5 I've been slightly catching up, and I finally decided to shuffle my team a bit, get him in, and last 2 game weeks I've had him, and I think it has been good because I still have De Bruyne as well, and you know whoever returns, I know ki I will get a return from City, from wherever it is. And I think Chelsea's form sort of helped me in the decision to get out James and you know get a budget defender and get a premium striker as well. So that was a tough thing because I think for start of the season we did an episode on FPL where everyone was contemplating whether to get Haaland or not, whether he's coming from Bundesliga, the so-called Farmers League and whatever. But I don't think so. He has taken any time to settle in. So that was like a big talking point. And considering that the way City create chances, I don't think so. No, anyone is going to remove him from the team till the 30th. So, Ila, your thoughts, like what were you thinking before the season and now your thought processes?
So mine actually, like I've been playing FPL since lots of years now. So I knew some things that are like perfectly mandate. That is, the pet roulette. You never know who Pep takes, and there are blanks of every big possible player as well. Secondly, we were, if we do any panic buys, panic transfers, we are like, not thinking through the box, and we are just going. So I was more like into getting a team set from the start and trying to make as minimum transfers as possible, because the thing is that when we are making the first team, we are at least trusting that players not to return in the first 2 games but later maybe. So it's like even if you are not scoring in the first two, you can at least get the pace later. So I did something which probably I'm not sure if anyone did. So I was pretty confused between the Kane and Haaland debate. So it was more like picking one out of two. So I was like, okay, let's just try them both. So I was like, from the very beginning, I had a pack striker lineup, but I was only scared that if James does anything, like it's over for me. So I was
Yeah,
so hopefully Liverpool and Chelsea assets, the defenders, didn't return much, and Kane was returning on a minimal basis. So I was like, yeah, this is going great. It's like the defense compromise worked.
yeah. I mean, I think we want all the players in the world, but that 100 million, especially with Salah's price going up, Son's price going up, and everything before the season, it was already going to be a tough choice, like who to get in, who to leave out. And I think still many of us steadied our ship so far, but now the main things begin when the Champions League has kicked off after the international break, and obviously now we are going to approach the World Cup after the international break as well. So this I think is one of the most crucial periods for FPL because luckily we have three wild cards, but many of them who have played a wild card might end up playing again in this coming break or whatever it is. So let's see how it goes. But now let's just quickly move on to our teams and how we have performed in the specific game week 8, which happened obviously last week. So this is my team that started out with me itself. All right, so I think a decent 66 points, which I find it was decent. The only problem I had was with Perisic not playing the 60 minutes and then from the bench getting a yellow card. And but other than that, I think almost everybody gave a decent return to me because like I have Ramsdale who again gave a clean sheet, who I may actually consider removing now. Like Arjun, you said that his fixtures now will turn difficult, and
Yeah.
you know I may need to actually rethink that. The best part is I still have my wild card, so I may immediately play it in game week 9, seeing the injury situation of players. But like you
Right.
said, I have De Bruyne and Haaland, and the main man Salah missing the cheat code of last season, but I had to take that choice since game week 5, and I don't think so. I regretted that one bit that I had to remove Salah. And I have no Liverpool players. Obviously, them not playing and Trent not performing, Salah not performing, I think that has been brilliant for me, FPL point of view. Your thoughts on the team? Anyone?
Um, I think so. Perez is
I
injured
think
right now.
Yeah, so that's what. So now, seeing how it gets closer to the start of the next game week,
Ye-
I might end up
Yeah,
playing my wild, which is a high probability, which I had already thought.
yeah,
I'm delaying my wild card because, like Arjun also had some free transfers. I too had that. I didn't make any transfers in my first game week, so I had two in the second, and I made only one change. So that, kept carrying on for me.
So how did
So
you cope with game week 8?
sorry, what?
How did you cope up with game week 8? How did you manage to put in
So
your players, or you had all the players?
I had two transfers. So
Okay.
that helped me massively because I didn't have Kane that time. I had Jesus over here, and I decided to, upgrade Jesus to Kane, and I got in Andreas as well, and James was in there, so I had to remove James, get in. Obviously, I made that decision long ago, but that saved me the money because Trent also was moved out, James was moved out. So I sort of shifted away from the template, and that's how I got money in the bank to get in Haaland, Kane, and De Bruyne.
Right.
I, I
I'd say
feel
the
like
team was more on the side, like people were actually preferring Trent and Salah to be there in their team, like since the beginning,
Yeah.
because like
So
they knew
I,
how he
I
will
was one of
perform.
those. I had them. It's like that template where James, Trent, Haaland, and Salah would be in your team start of the season.
Yeah.
I was one of them who would keep
That's a
Salah. I
big thing
kept
actually,
Salah till the
choosing a
third game
differential
week, and
and
I was actually
rushing.
contemplating to not keep him in my team from the first game week. But knowing Salah, I thought he would do something. But it has just been disappointing so far.
Correct,
And
correct.
now with
Absolutely. Similarly, for me, likewise, I think the only way I've been suffering is because of Liverpool. And I
yeah,
mean, absolutely shocking performance from their end because these are promising guys, right? We're talking about Salah, we're talking about Trent. These are guys who you expect to perform. Like, even in their worst, they'll not give you,
exactly.
like they'll give you some kind of return. So you can have them in your team and then they end up performing. But I think that's where I have been taking a lot of hits as well.
Yeah. So, speaking about your team and the hits you have taken on. So this
Yeah,
is your team on screen, right?
right.
So you have Edison in goal, Trippier, Cancelo, Perisic, Neco Williams. Surprisingly, Neco Williams is starting for you. Always had him on the bench, and
Yeah.
every time he would deliver from the bench. But I just had to keep Trent till the last game week possible, and that actually cost me at least 10 good points overall.
Yeah.
But then I think you have your midfield is good looking, like you have Bailey, Saka, Martinelli, and Andreas. And
Right.
obviously, you have Salah on the bench, who you had to put in because of the blank
Yeah.
for them, and Alan captain and Jesus.
Right.
Anything you would have actually changed in this team?
Everything, to be honest, everything. This is one of the worst like game weeks for me, and I knew I was going in for that because I didn't want to use any chips. I didn't want to use up too many free transfers. I just wanted to make up a playing 11 to get through this game week. The whole
Yeah,
strategy of game week 8 was that I let everybody else in the world use their wild card, use their free hits, use their money, take hits, make transfers, and I won't. So my strategy here was that
yeah,
the initial returns that I've been getting, I'll take a hit this week in terms of points, and now so the strategy for coming weeks is going to be absolutely different. Like I don't think you're going to see the same team again. This has been my team since game week 1. Instead of Perisic, I had Trent. So I these are the guys that I've gone with since game week 1, and that was always the plan. कि game week 8 tak rakhna hai. Game week 7 actually, but then because of the partial game week, it was a bummer for me. But luckily, I had a playing 10. Just using my subs. I knew Neko Williams wouldn't perform, to be very honest. But I just wanted that 1 point or whatever he gave me, I took it. I didn't have any problem with that. I just went with Perisic because I had to bench Trent because that is one guy I really he was absolutely disappointing performance. But again, he's Trent and it's Liverpool, and they if they have good fixtures coming in, you can't like shy away from taking a Liverpool player also. So that was so for last game week, the whole strategy was to just put up a playing 11 and to get as many points as possible. So I I'm now considering to shift my entire team. I mean, to be very honest, something I took away from last game week, apart from Son's performance in that game, so Son is a very good topic to talk about in terms of FPL, was Leicester City. I feel they played crazy. I mean, they were really good. To be honest, if you see Madison, he is absolutely underrated, and the fixtures that they have now, very high
exactly.
chances of seeing him in my FPL team. Very high chances.
Yeah, even
I'm
I
gonna
was
be
thinking,
changing my yeah.
yeah, because but
Uh,
if you see, like last season everyone was targeting teams like Norwich for captaincy choices and stuff. So this season is Leicester that team, because even though Madison has been good, you can see they concede loads of goals, and that is what
Absolutely.
gets us the returns. So would you target Leicester matches specifically, captaincy choice wise?
No, no. As long as I have Haaland, there is no chance that a Leicester player gets to be captain in the team because that guy is crazy. I mean, as much as I hate to see it, I always had Haaland since the first game week because I knew that even if Haaland does not perform the service that Manchester City has for any striker, I mean, even if you just put a standing piece of cardboard there, they have a 50-50 chance of scoring a goal because the service is that good, and Liverpool does
Yeah,
not have that. So I could never
yeah,
go with Nunes. Harry Kane, I knew will take time to settle in because he does not have that kind of service. So it takes a Son or a Kane to break out in a game and score a hat trick for Tottenham to actually come on the map for me. But Haaland was always the obvious choice for me. It had to be Haaland for captain because that team is nuts. That Pep team has the best service in the world, especially for a striker. So yeah, so I had to have Haaland, and he has to be my captain. I think Ederson as my goalkeeper was a little expensive choice compared to others. Was only because I knew that these guys have a solid defense, which was
yeah.
also shocked. I mean, teams like I think Newcastle literally broke them. I was shocked when I saw that game. Luckily, I had Trippier again, a guy that I really trusted. So I'm to be very honest, like I said, I was very happy with my back four. Trent in that case, but Trent was a little disappointing. So yeah, apart from that, my defense was pretty solid, but not anymore. I think now I'm going to change up Jesus to mid-range strikers. You know, everybody's talking about Isak, Mitrovic, Tony. Isak is now going to be
Isak
taking
was
penalties.
injured.
Isak,
Unfortunately, I think
Isak,
Isak just got
he,
injured. We just need to check
yeah.
how he is going to recover, if he is going to
Right.
recover
No,
for the.
he
Yeah.
he missed his two Sweden matches, so he could be possible be able to play the Premier League match. They are saying like
Yeah,
that.
so we
Yeah, it is
check
possible.
that.
Patterson is the one which is very bad. So they are saying he'll be out for a long time. So he was taken out
Yeah,
by stretcher and all. I think so.
Right.
Isak will be there, and
yeah,
I think so. The now the midfield choice also will change to mostly Madison and Zaha.
Initial
Because Zaha
Yeah,
also has good
definitely.
fixtures, right? Yeah.
Great fixtures,
So
yeah.
yeah. So people who
Also,
don't
they've
have
been in great form. Like Zaha and Madison, apart from whatever their team, but they've been having great form.
so
Isak is
sorry
out
to
for
yeah
be
two
saying
weeks.
Isaac is out only for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
then is a good shout to come in and be a budget striker who we expect to return at least in once in 2 3 games. So I think that should
But
be a good
Wilson
return
also
for
will be
his
eating
price
out of
tag.
his minutes. You have to consider that also. So Wilson will eat out of his minutes. So I think that makes Mitrovic and Tony better options as a budget mid
Yeah.
range strike force. So I think
So
I
or
am
you
going to
can
be going with that.
go
yeah,
with Almiron also. He's 5 million and he might be playing on the
Yeah,
right side also. Yeah, because
yeah, he's also a
Wilson
good
is
option.
out, is Isak is out, and I think so. Guimaraes also, Bruno Guimaraes has got a knock or something. I don't know if he'll start Premier League. So another person out. Like so, let's see.
yeah.
Right.
So let's move
And
on to
yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
actually, these are just the
guys.
initial transfers.
So Eli, you are speaking.
Yeah, I was saying that these are just initial injuries that we have recorded, but it's like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is just the start. Like
yeah,
there's a very
Correct.
hectic
yeah,
season going on, so there's going to be a lot of
yeah,
injuries, and it's better to use your transfers at the last, even if the price rise
yeah,
is there. Prefer it to be at the last, I guess.
yeah. Unless you're
Right.
using a wild card,
yeah,
Definitely.
because then you know you can change it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Eli, if you want to just go on with your team, you know,
Yeah,
and tell
I
us
guess
how.
my team was like pretty sure. Like the front three. So I was like, whatever I'm gonna do between the mid assets like Da Silva and your 4.5 mid rangers or your 4 million defense. So basically, it was more like if Kane is performing, so let him just perform because he can score one or two goals. So I believe the two transfers I made was on the intention that Newcastle play Bournemouth, and I thought maybe I could use a wild card on game week 9. So it was at least
Yeah.
it was game week 9 or game week
But
12
would you now
where I was
consider
supposed to be
Son?
using
Would you
12.
now consider Son instead of Kane? The hat trick which
Uh,
he scored could just pick up from there.
I know. I guess Son just came like from starting he was a bit unsettled, I guess. But he was pricey as well, I'd say. But Kane was somewhere where I
Yeah,
know Kane has been delivering from the last 4 5 seasons. He's just non-stop. So when he gets going, he gets going. But you see that Kane has returned one goal up like every game, but not two. So also Mitrovic and others have returned my sole reason to use the transfers was the Bournemouth game, but Bournemouth turned out to be real good. So no clean sheet for Pope and everything. So I was like, okay, let's. That is expected, right? You can't always make the rightful transfers. But I believe, yeah, maybe if the
yeah,
team looks good for game week 9, better stick with it, or maybe go for a wild card. So the main advantage I believe in taking removing Liverpool assets out is because their price didn't increase. So even if you sometimes think of getting them back, so you're not in a big loss. That you have just like
yeah,
Haaland. If I try to remove Haaland now, it's not possible. So I can try your luck into removing Liverpool assets, but not all, I'd say, because I just removed Trent. I was there that let Salah be there. At least one, I need him. But you don't know how the season shapes
yeah.
in.
That's
Even in that, so I guess let's just wait and see
I
how
mean,
it
you
goes.
made a really good point that you can get back Liverpool assets because of their form, and few of them have dropped in price, or if not, they have stayed the same. and there are other players who are rising in price, and if you want to if you want to shift from Kane to some other player, it's very much possible because of the differences in price points. So that is a really good point you brought up. So, the one thing I would like to say in your team, what I noticed was your defense. You haven't, you are kept a budget, like a good budget. Cancelo, I think, now is going to stay in every team. Other than that, you had Neco Williams, Trippier, Emerson. So I think you haven't invested too much on defense, whereas you have gone with a heavy attack. Like we always think whether we should go for a heavy attack or a defense on that point. And
I guess
you know,
everyone went for a heavy defense in the start. I knew that
yeah,
that
exactly.
that was gonna be there. Having James was much for everyone. But I was like, yeah,
True.
maybe that's a maybe it's James or Kane for me initially. So that is where I was stuck
Yep.
in terms of budget
So
actually.
yeah. So let's quickly move on to Elroy's team because, like he said, he played the wild card early on in the second game week, and then he had to play the free hit as well. I mean, it did get you good number of points of 77, but Elroy, you just want to run through your team and as to why you had to play the free hit.
Well, yeah. Because I had only 7 players, so then I had to do a minus 12, I think. So to get the at least to get the playing 11. First, I was okay. I was saying like 9, 10 might be fine, but then after I think so the United game also got cancelled at the
Yeah.
end. So then it became 6 or 5, I think. That's why then I took then I told I have to take the free hit itself, and because also I had Salah and Trent, so I knew they'll come back. So if I do this, and I know the next game is Brighton.
Yep. But
Yeah,
you played a wild card. I mean, this season obviously you have the advantage of three wild cards. But do
yeah.
you regret playing that wild card?
Good question.
No, no, I don't. Because I did have Jesus actually. I did go for Jesus, and I that is the second game in which he scored 2 goals and 2 assists. So
Yeah.
that itself, and my defense also, I was defense was Robertson, and also I removed Robertson at that time, and I just kept Trent. So in and that game week itself, I think so many people had both two Liverpool defenders, so they got 1-1 point there. Actually, I think the second game week or third game week, all defenders got 1-1 point. James, Cancelo, and all. So yeah, it obviously the Nunes thing was bad because of the red card. But other than that, I think so the team was good. It could have done better, but it that game week it didn't do.
Yeah. And I see your bench. You have like what 15, 16 points on your bench. I mean, like
Actually, I
that's the
consider
worst. This is the worst part of FPL as a manager. Like you see your bench doing better than your starting level.
yeah. No, actually, I considered keeping Begovic instead of Pope and getting trying to get the third defender was Kufal. So I thought of agreeing him, but then I thought that Pope might be a too big a risk. So that's why I just
Yeah.
went with Pope and I just kept him on the bench.
Yeah.
But
Makes
then
sense.
after seeing that point, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I mean it's a surprising clean sheet for Everton as well. I mean, I don't think so even they
Yeah,
expected to keep a clean sheet
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
because
definitely.
I don't
But
remember
I
the
did.
last time we kept a clean sheet.
I didn't expect
The first,
my West Ham to score much also actually. So I was like, even if might score one, so might be 2 points and maybe plus saves.
yeah,
So with that in mind, I thought like because I didn't want to keep two Newcastle because if one goes like how it happened, one goes you both your clean sheet goes, and I know Trippier can attack. So I was like, okay, Trippier I can keep him, but there were no better options other than Pope. So I just kept it on. But still,
but now
overall, I got good points. Yeah.
yeah, like speaking about West Ham and Leicester and everyone, like according to all three of you, which has been the most disappointing team and a player. Both can be different as well. Like, Arjun, you go first. So far in FPL terms.
Uh, in FPL terms, I think it's going to be Liverpool for me because they are the most trusted team after City. People are stacking threes out of Liverpool in a team, so they have to be disappointing. In terms of player, uh, I mean, Salah could be because he's again compared against KDB. Son. Son just comes out and gives in a hat trick. So in terms of my team, so I'm sure there are more disappointing players. Maybe Harry Kane for somebody, or maybe
No,
Son for
I would
somebody who's been
stick
holding
to
him.
Liverpool and either of Trent or Salah. Like I would have the same
Yeah.
answer.
So yeah, for me it's gonna be the Liverpool side. So either a Trent or a yeah Salah have been disappointing for me.
Yeah. Eli?
I'd say first it's the Leicester defense, obviously, because you can expect at least one clean sheet from Danny Wardman. Come on, like it's like just give me one clean sheet at least.
Yeah.
So it's like
He's on
returning
he's,
one.
he's on every bench just for the bench sake and nothing else. So no one is
Yeah.
actually talking about it.
And even if you are, they hit you 1-2 goal, it's fine. You get some 1 point on save, but it's like people are hitting them 4-6, so it's like
Yeah.
massive. So that is one thing. And
Yeah.
secondly, I guess I'll also have to say Salah because the standard that he set last year, that is the reason why people opted him for captain choices and to perform really great against other teams. So I guess every player there, like in terms of KDB, in terms of Kane, Son, who are expected to do good, did well. But Salah, on the other hand, was like slightly okayish compared to the standards and the players he's compared with. So I guess it has to be Mo Salah for me.
I think Elroy won't have a different view. Like unless you actually do.
I know you will have a different view. You had Bailey.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
And
when
he
you
also
literally,
scored against City. Come on, he scored
yeah,
against
he
but
didn't
City.
have him.
for
I
He,
think
that
so. I think so.
team,
I think so. You
I
removed him
don't
at that time because I saw in the group. He's like every time, what is this Bailey doing? What is this Bailey
uh,
doing?
I no, long back, I think after the third or the fourth game week itself. I mean, even for that price point, and I had a few transfers left, so I could actually upgrade Bailey and get in returns because, like I said, because of Haaland, after the fourth, fifth game week, I had to do some catching up. So, but Bailey for that price point, if you have in your team, I don't think so. It's disappointing because 4.5,
yeah. Also, I'll make
135
you feel better. I had him on bench when he scored. I hope that makes you feel
I
better. I started
didn't have him
Andreas.
at all.
I started
I think I
Andreas
removed
because
him
he had a
just
better
because.
fixture. Oh, okay.
For
Yeah.
me to, for me to Nunes. How you can forget?
And Nunes. Oh
I
God.
pro- I use my wildcard to bring him in.
Oh man,
But
that
to be
that
fair,
that,
I
that must
would
hurt.
like to explode this season. So for me, is not much of a disappointment as such till now in FPL terms as well. But he could be someone who could turn out to be someone like Jota who would come in and score every game because Liverpool is an attacking team and the chances and number of chances they create. Like last game week, I think eighth or seventh also he got